Hey friends, it is Susan O'Hara from LegsLikeMine.com, and April, who I've been following now for a couple of years, asked me to do a video for you all for Lipedema Awareness Month. So here I am. I'm pre-recording my video for you this year because my month of June is insane. So the way I'm celebrating Lipedema Awareness Month is by living my best life and doing as many things as I possibly can this month. And I know you probably can't see the calendar behind me in too much detail, but I'll tell you a few of the things I'm doing, and then I'll get to why I'm really recording a video for you today as well. So this month, I am going to be taking my Girl Scouts to Europe. And it's a trip that we have had planned for several years now that got impacted by COVID, and I'm super excited. So I'll be heading out to Washington, D.C. to do my paid job for a couple of days here tomorrow and Friday. And then Monday morning, bright and early, taking the girls to London. And we'll spend a few days there, and then we'll spend a few days in Paris, and then head on back home. And as soon as I get home, I'm really excited, and I don't know if I'm supposed to tell it, but I'm telling it anyway. I'm actually going to be a subject in a documentary about lipedema. So when I was at Fat Disorders Resource Society conference in Cleveland and was doing the fashion show there, and had passed out the first copies of my book, Jeans on a Beach Day, I was approached by a documentarian whose mother happens to have lipedema, and they were both at the conference together. And so she is going to come out to my home June the 14th and 15th and record some of the things I do to help manage my condition of lipedema. So she'll spend a lot of time with me, probably, you know, I'm in the middle of the pool all the time. So she'll be watching me do my workout and talk about how I go through that every day. And I think she's also going to watch me probably document how I use the my lymphatic pump, which is a FlexiTouch pump made by Tactile Medical, and probably show how I do manual lymphatic drainage in the shower modestly. Of course, I'm not going to show whatever because that's just not who I am. And then also some of the other stuff that I just do throughout the day, the putting on of compression and all that. I also think she's going to have an opportunity to interview my mom, who also is a stage 2 lipedema patient who's now basically immobile at this point in her 70s. So we'll spend a couple of days there together, and then we plan to go out to Los Angeles, and I'm hoping that she can go with me on Southwest Airlines and see what it's like to fly as a passenger of size and what that whole experience is like. I'll be flying with the extra seat and my seatbelt extender and all that stuff. And then we're planning to go out and meet with my surgeon and do a post-op appointment and start working on scheduling my next round of surgeries, which are gonna be more complex as we get further down the line. And we're planning to meet up with a bunch of our friends who are lipedema patients who are going to be staying there in Los Angeles a couple of times. And who knows who else I may meet up with and throw in the documentary drag in with me as well. So thanks to all the friends who are planning to be a part of that, and to my mom who are willing to share their stories as well. I think it's going to be a good thing to do for lipedema awareness in my own special way. So I have to go back though. While I'm in London, I'm actually going to have coffee with Susanna Davida, who is my shoe consultant that's been working with me to build the line of lipedema friendly shoes. So I'm actually going to bring her something that I've got for the boot idea. And if you've been part of my shoe focus groups, you know I've spilled the beans on what the idea is, but I want to see what she has to say about it. So continuing through my month of June, whenever I get back, my daughter's birthday is this month, my birthday is this month, I'm going to be taking my husband out to Hurricane, West Virginia for a conference, driving with him, and then going back and forth between DC and home to celebrate birthdays and that sort of thing. And then I'll spend the last 5 or 6 days, I don't know, of my time for June in DC there with my husband. So I am working on a book right now and plan to have it in edits by the end of this month. It is a book about aquatherapy for lipedema, my personal story. And I hope it helps a lot of folks. I get tons of questions about why I chose to invest in a pool as my therapy choice and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go with some of my routines that I do in the pool, what I wear, the supplies I need, all the stuff that you need to know about being a patient with lipedema using a pool as therapy. So look for that coming out. I think it'll probably be released. If I had to guess, I would say mid-July. I've moved pretty fast just in general on all things in life. And then I've got a few more books up my sleeve that I'm wanting to work on to help patients and get information out there. Every Monday that I'm in the United States, I'll be participating in the Lipedema Education Group with Chuck Ehrlich, who is one of the authors of the Lipedema Nutrition Guide, and also with the likes of Emily Eicher, Linda Ann Kahn, just different doctors are part of this group, and we're working to put together some consistent messaging that we can answer, you know, as people ask questions, but we're also going to be using the messaging that's approved by the doctors and the team to turn into infographics to share on social media to reach out to different populations of folks as well. And that's where I play my part, is using my platform and courage to share the information with folks in a different way so that we can do outreach and pull them in instead of just hope that people find lipedema and come to us, right? So all of that's happening in the month of June. So why I am here today, 6 minutes into this video, which April told me I had 15, so I'm just going to use it. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I am doing a shoe line for people with lipedema. So my mom has lipedema. She didn't know what it was called. She was a very petite woman for many, many years, weighing around 100 pounds when she was in high school and stuff. And even at that weight, she was experiencing disordered eating because of the size of her legs. Of course, back then in the 60s, people were all those micro mini skirts and everything. So it was probably even more painful emotionally than it is today, because we can get away with maxi dresses, thank God. But even in high school and stuff, her doctors were telling her, you've got to lose weight. You've got to lose weight. She's been fat shamed her whole life. And if you see my mom, when you see her in the documentary, you'll see she's not a huge woman, but she's been fat shamed her whole life. And every time I remember going to the store and she would get hopeful about a pair of wide calf boots, I can remember her sitting down on the chair in the shoe store, trying to pull up the boots and then getting mad and throwing the boots across the room because they never fit. And I, of course, remember that, and that's painful and almost traumatic for me to remember that I was my mom having to suffer in some way. And then when I turned 12 years old, my feet grew into the lovely size of 13 wide, and I've always had trouble just finding shoes in general. But now there are companies like, you know, Amazon and Zappos and places like that where you can get shoes in bigger sizes. So I have been trying boots and all kinds of stuff and just cannot find boots to fit me. So when I went to the Fat Disorders Resource Society conference, was my first time to really be in a room full of other women like me. They walk like me. If you were there, you walk like me, you sit like me, your rear end hangs out of the sides of chairs like me. It was really incredible. But I also saw a lot of people who had the same kind of shoe issues that I thought were mine alone, right? I thought that I was the only one whose feet puffed up out of the top of ballet flats, or who pronated so much that I was wearing out the sides of my shoes, or had shoes that didn't fit. I mean, It really spoke to me. And when I saw women by the hundreds whose feet looked like mine, whether they were a 13 wide or a size 6, we all have the same issues. Shoes with cutouts in places that don't belong and make us puff, and things that hurt the toe box because it's too small, just on and on. And I am blessed, I guess is what I'm going to say, because I do have I've been really fortunate to have education in project management and product management in my paid career, right? And I have the confidence to know that I can make things happen. And the minute that I started doing research in earnest, I came across Susanna, who owns the shoe consultant company. And I knew that with her help and her 20 years of experience in making shoes, that I could do this and actually change people's lives. So, you know, I wanted to show you a few things. I have been hoarding shoes since the 7th grade. And I looked last year, maybe 2 years ago now, I've got blog posts on it on LegsLikeMine about it, but I went through my closet and I got rid of what I was emotionally ready to part with. And I still probably have 40 pairs of shoes in there that I'm not ready to deal with. But I mean, so I'm going to start with the ones that I really should get rid of, but I cannot do it. So I wanted to start with these. I have never worn these shoes. They're David Tate. It's a brand I actually wear. They are so tight in the toe box, but look how sparkly they are. And I ordered them on Amazon or Zappos or something. And when they came in the mail, I was so hopeful. And when I try and cram my foot into my shoe, it doesn't even slide in all the way. But I just think to myself, like, there may be a day when I have to go to a wedding and maybe I can cram them in for like 30 minutes or something. Look, the bottoms of the shoes literally have never been worn. Why didn't I send them back? I don't know. Because I only have, I mean, like if I had to wear something to a wedding right now, I would be hosed, you guys. I mean, so I have these, never worn. And we all have a need for dress shoes. And I will tell you that when I have held some of the focus groups the last couple of weeks, that was one of the things we talked about is what occasion do you need shoes for? And I want to look, for me, I want to look feminine when I go to a wedding. And someday my daughter may choose to get married to someone, and I want a mother of a bride outfit, and I don't want my feet to look like old, ugly, orthotic things that I have to wear all the time. So there's that. I have this pair of shoes. I have not been able to part with them. I was in Las Vegas with my mom more than probably 15 years or 20 years ago, and I went into a shoe store, and in Las Vegas they have a different population, different demographic, a lot of men who like to wear high heels and stuff like that. Again, thank goodness, right? And I saw these shoes on the rack, and I got into a little tiff with a guy about this pair of beautiful shoes. And look at the bottoms. I have indeed worn them, but it has been years since I have put my feet in these shoes. I remember walking down the streets of Washington, D.C. wearing these shoes, and my feet hurt so bad. I'm telling you now, I'm not making a shoe with the heel like this. We don't need it. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Why did I get rid of that shoe? I don't know. I cannot let myself get rid of that shoe. And then I have these beauties, and aren't they so cool? Same brand, J. Renee. I love the brand. It's a little bit shorter of a heel. You can tell from looking at these babies that's got felt on the bottom. They haven't been worn. I think I wore them out, and I did a photo shoot in them one time for Pride Day or something, just because like they're so cool. But why? I mean, wouldn't these look cute with a pair of jeans for one thing? Why can we not have shoes that look cool? I mean, they may not be pointy. We don't need pointy, and we don't need heels, but why can't we have fun patterns? You know, we're girls too. We deserve things that are cute. But am I ever going to wear these again? Probably not. Can't get rid of them. They're going to be in my closet in 5 years, I promise you, unless something miraculous happens in the dress shoe market. And so then I have to tell you that I have gone years and years and years without having sandals. I mean, I remember being in 7th grade and being so jealous of the girls that had these cute little one-strap sandals and stuff. This is David Tate. This is a shoe that, a brand I like, you know, and this came in a 13 wide, and I thought, I'm buying these. And they came in, and if this was the toe box, I don't know what this is called yet, but it's not wide enough. I cram my feet in them, and they sort of hang off this way because they're not long enough. I even bought some shoe stretching spray to put on these. And really, even if they did fit, this isn't the kind of shoe that a person with lipedema should have now that we see it, because my foot would puff out here, and basically anywhere there's a too fine of a strap, that would just be like a weird puffing thing. But do I get rid of them? No. Am I ever going to wear them again? No. I bought them in 2 colors. They still don't fit. Anyway, and then I have these, and these are also J. Renee. It's a $125 shoe, right? It looks like something that the Queen of England, God love her, would wear. I mean, it's that kind of chunky heel, and I hate to say it, guys, but if we're going to have a heel, we need a chunkier heel because we overpronate and we need stability. So I get that. But what's wrong with this shoe is that it's way too low in the upper. And so if we're wearing these for any period of time at all, we're going to puff right out the top. And I am down with getting rid of puffing. Like, I'm going to create a shoe that comes across here instead of opening up lower so that we can have nice looking shoes. I mean, that's beautiful fabric and, you know, a nice cut. The heel's too high anyway. But wait, why can't somebody make a shoe that our feet don't puff out of? It does not make any sense. You deserve better than that. You deserve shoes that fit, you know? Anyway, I shouldn't have thrown that. That was an expensive shoe. And then, you know, if you follow me on Legs Like Mine, I wear these Drew shoes. I love the bottoms, how it's got like an extra sort of stable footbed, and there's great arch support. So sorry about my cat. But still, I mean, Mary Jane's, I puff out at the top of these, right? And these are kind of weird. Like at first I was like, I'm never wearing those, but they kind of grew on me, especially because they're so comfortable. I got these in black and I hated them so much that I don't even wear them though. It's so weird. But when these, I mean, something like this that covered up our puff and didn't let us puff, I've kind of got that in mind, you know, like I actually can pull this off with a skirt if it's the right skirt, not too dressy. But I get people stop me in the street about these shoes, and I really think it's because they've got a fun pattern on them. You know, they're different. They're not just plain black or whatever. But, and then last, I finally, after years of looking, I found these shoes by Eravon, and these are kind of worn. This is my first pair of Eravon sandals. I have 3 now. They're adjustable. Hey, how about that? Adaptive footwear, right? That's what we need. They're adjustable here, here, and here. And overall, I've worn the heck out of these shoes, and I think the footbed is so stable and good. Like I could get away from a wear perspective probably with another year. This is what we're talking about. And I mean, for a start, right? We need straps in better placements and wider straps for us, but we need choices. And that's why I'm making shoes. And I have to tell you, when I was doing the shoe focus groups with folks, I did several sessions, and I still have one to go for a couple of folks that weren't able to make it. I never thought I would be as emotional as I was. I never thought that there was anyone else in the world that had feet problems like I do. And I cried. I cried when I looked at pictures that people had sent me of their ankle cuffs and how they can't wear boots because they rub the ankle cuffs. And I cried when I saw the picture of the lady who has to wrap her feet in saran wrap in the wintertime because she can't wear winter boots. I cried whenever my friend texted me a picture of how she has to make shoes out of duct tape on days when she's doing decongestive therapy because their regular flip-flops won't even fit. I mean, we are a big percentage of the population. And I know that there's discussions about, are we 11%? Are we 17 million? It doesn't matter. We represent millions and millions and millions of people. Whether we have money or don't have money, we deserve a basic human need of shoes that fit. And as people that happen to be fortunate enough to be in a well-developed part of the world, there is no reason why we shouldn't have shoes that fit us, and I am going to make it happen. One of the things I want to tell you before I go is that a lot of people who start companies who are trying to make money, just in it for the money or whatever, they will be secret about what they're doing and not tell people about what they're doing. And that is not what I'm about. Oh, do you know how happy I would be if some other company picked up on what we're trying to do? I mean, there are several companies that do adaptive footwear, but they don't work for people with lipedema. What if they saw this video and they were like, oh my gosh, we're missing out on a huge market here. We should open up stuff for people who have lipedema because we don't want to look like a bunch of like old ladies. We are in all age ranges, right? And we want stuff that's cute too, but more importantly, we need stuff that fits, that's comfortable. But what if they opened up and said, hey, we're going to provide some competition for Legs Like Mine? What if we're going to offer a second kind of boot that fits ultra wide calves? You know, what if we're going to make sandals with wider straps? I want that. So shoe companies, if you're listening to me, please make shoes for us. I don't care if you're competing with me. That would be so great because I would love to walk into a shoe store someday and have 2 pairs of boots that fit my calves. Woo, that would be crazy. So I know I've rambled for almost 20 minutes now, but I want you to know that you matter. You're not alone. You have feet like I do. They may not be as big as mine, probably not as stinky as mine either, really, but you walk like me, You sit like me, you move like me, we rub in the same places. You know, you're not alone, and we have to unite to disrupt the fashion industry, to disrupt the medical industry, to disrupt the insurance industry, so that people will start listening to us and recognizing that we are a powerful market. We're smart women. We have skills, we have money, and we want to look good and feel good and be healthy. So that's why we're here, is not only to encourage each other within our group, but to disrupt society so that it finally will make things that fit for us. So with that, I think I should probably stop rambling. I hope you have a really fantastic Lipedema Awareness Month. I hope that you stay healthy and you do something for yourself this month. Do one thing to raise awareness. I know it takes courage to put yourself out there. Believe me, I know. If you can just do one post this month, share with one person you haven't met before, you might be changing somebody's life, right? Anyway, that's it. My hope for you is that you have a great month and that you come out of it better than you started. All right. Peace out. I will see you later. If I make it through this month in one piece after all this crazy travel and all this crazy shoe stuff, I'm going to be posting probably some relaxation pictures somewhere. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.